presenting the Martin Scorsese film Killers of the Flower Moon, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and Lily Gladstone. Awards eligible. Rated R. More at fyc.appletvplus.com.
Tired of circling around the block to find parking? Is being stuck in traffic getting old? If you're thinking about saying goodbye to your car, consider donating it to WNYC. You'll get a tax deduction and help keep WNYC free for the entire community. And we'll even come and tow your car away for free. Find out more about donating your car at wnyc.org/car.
Marketplace Morning Report is coming up next, and then in 10 minutes at 9 o'clock, it's the BBC NewsHour on WNYC. Let's check in with London to see what they're working on. London, good morning.
Good morning, WNYC. I'm Tim Franks. On today's NewsHour, the US and the UK strike Houthi targets in Yemen and will be live in Taiwan ahead of Saturday's presidential elections. That's BBC NewsHour, coming up at 9 on WNYC.
We have some sunshine out there now, 41 going up to 47 with some increasing clouds today. And then tonight, rain, a lot of it and heavy at times, a low of 44 with high winds. We have a slim chance of morning showers, partly sunny, the temperature rising to the low 50s, then falling to the low 40s, and then Saturday night, dry, gusty, near freezing as a cold front approaches. It's 8:52.
As war in the Middle East expands, so too do its economic shockwaves.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by UiPath. More than 10,000 organizations use the UiPath AI-powered business automation platform to put AI to work. UiPath.com/marketplace. UiPath, the foundation of innovation. And by Charles Schwab. Schwab believes every investor deserves to work with a firm they can count on, with financial consultants ready to serve clients and 24/7 live help.
From Marketplace, I'm Sabri Benishore, in for David Brancaccio. The U.S. and Britain struck military bases across Yemen overnight in response to attacks on commercial ships in the Red Sea by Yemen's rebel Houthi group. The spiral of retaliation of which that is a part continues to ripple out into the global economy. The latest sign, Tesla plans to pause production at a plant in Germany, citing supply chain delays caused by changes to shipping routes. Marketplace's Henry Epp has more.
Tesla will stop producing most electric cars at its plant outside of Berlin for about 2 weeks, starting January 29th. The company relies on components from Asia, and in a statement to Reuters, Tesla says attacks on container ships in the Red Sea mean those parts now have to instead travel around South Africa, which takes a lot longer. The Red Sea is the fastest shipping route between Asia and Europe, but freight movement through the region has dropped off significantly since Houthi rebels began attacking commercial ships in the past few months. Diverting freight to other routes has driven up shipping costs, which could put upward pressure on inflation. For Tesla, pausing production in Germany is just the latest headache in the region. It's also facing a strike and boycotts by labor unions across Scandinavia. I'm Henry Epp for Marketplace.
When kids are out of school for the summer, they spend more time at home and more time eating there. For low-income families, that is a significant added expense. Well, this summer, millions of low-income American families will get extra help with their food bills. The U.S. Department of Agriculture has a new summer EBT program. It'll give families that are already eligible for free or reduced price lunch during the school year $40 a month per eligible child to spend at the grocery store. Marketplace's Savannah Marr has more.
The USDA tested this program during the pandemic, and it found that grocery assistance filled gaps left by its existing summer food service program, which requires kids to physically show up somewhere at a specific time and eat their lunch on site.
It's always reached only a fraction of the kids who rely on free and reduced price school meals,
says Crystal Fitzsimon with the Food Research and Action Center.
Depending on the summer, it's 1 in 6 or 1 in 7.
Because of transportation issues, distance to the meal location, working parents' busy schedules.
Not to mention any, potential stigma associated with it.
Emily Gutierrez with the Urban Institute says summer EBT gives families flexibility to buy their preferred foods. Plus, those families are probably already going to the grocery store.
As opposed to having to make another trip
But with grocery prices high and still rising, per Thursday's CPI report, Gutierrez says that extra $40 per month per kid only goes so far. I'm Savannah Marr for Marketplace.
All right, let's do the numbers. Dow futures are down 111 points at 0.3%. S&P and NASDAQ futures are about flat. The yield on the 10-year Treasury is 3.970%.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by C3 Generative AI. Verified traceable answers, secure, hallucination-free, LLM-agnostic, IP liability-free. Learn more at c3.ai. And by Progressive Insurance with Snapshot. Learn more about Snapshot at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Snapshot not available in California, North Carolina, or from all agents. And by Viking, exploring the world in comfort. With a fleet of small ships, Viking offers travel experiences for the thinking person. Discover more at Viking.com.
Voters in Taiwan will elect a new president and legislature on Saturday. The U.S. allies' increasingly tense relationship with Beijing has dominated the election campaigns. But for many residents, it's the economy and how to make a living that are the biggest issues. The BBC's Cindy Su reports.
Chen Yuhong has been working at this noodle shop for several years, earning around $1,300 a month. His wife makes about the same amount, but they barely have enough to support their 2 young daughters.
We try our best to be frugal, such as by cutting down on entertainment, like watching a movie or traveling. We avoid smoking or eating a big meal out.
He says he can only dream of owning a home and doesn't think the election will change that. Chen Yuhong is also worried about losing his job. Inflation has driven up the cost of products the noodle shop uses. Goose meat has risen by 15% and pork by 30% this year. Now his boss is planning to close the store because it's no longer making a profit.
There's nothing I can do but try to find another job.
Taiwan's economy grew by just under 1.5% last year. While wages have increased, they haven't kept up with inflation, which is more than 2%, and food prices have risen by 3 times as much. The profits of technology giants such as global semiconductor maker TSMC and electronics assembler Foxconn aren't filtering down to ordinary people like Chen Yahui. She owns a small eatery and says she's making 30 to 40% less than she was before the pandemic.
In the past, a family of 4 would buy 4 boxed meals from us. Now, they buy only 2 and take them home to share.
Chen Yahui says the current ruling party, the Democratic Progressive Party, is too focused on bickering with the Chinese government and instead needs to focus on improving people's living standards.
When both sides' economies have problems, how could you fight with each other? When you don't even have money to buy rice, how could you buy bullets?
Rising inflation and the difficulty of buying property is making many young people lose hope in Taiwan. College student Jack He works in a beverage store, earning around $6 an hour, just a little bit more than the minimum wage. After he graduates, he wants to move abroad.
I should try to push for a change, but I realize there's no way to change the current situation. The sense of helplessness is very strong in Taiwan.
Both the U.S. and China will be closely watching the outcomes of the elections, but the deciding votes may be economic rather than political. In Taiwan, I'm the BBC's Cindy Su for Marketplace.
Our executive producer is Kelly Silveira. Our digital producer is Dylan Mietinen. Our engineers are Jessen Dueller and Brian Allison. And I'm Sabri Benishore with the Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.